understand what's happening here.
Because she said she's got the deets, and then she said Delia Deets because their names is Deets. The Deets.
You know what's funny about that?
No.
Because, okay, it ends in that Z or S or whatever. I honestly have no idea, like, not even how to write, like, possessive of Ross.
Oh, Ross's.
Like,
you put apostrophe
is
S.
it after?
There's 3 S's. You put apostrophe S.
Is it Ross and then apostrophe S?
You know, because I still don't know the rule for that. I've always been unclear on the rule of whether it comes, like, where the apostrophe comes after.
Yeah.
I've never, do you know what the rule is for that? Like, I know that if you put it between the S, it's like possessive. Like, if you put, like, what's a word? Like, restaurants... And then you are Charles
I know what
like
it
if
is
it's a
on
name.
something like that. But when it ends in S, that's where I have the problem.
Well, because if I was like Tracy's, I put the apostrophe S. But if it's like, like you said, like what if it's Jess? Is it Jess's?
Yeah, you put apostrophe S.
That's
I hate. That's my understanding of it.
They don't teach you that in Schoolhouse Rock, and I'm really upset that they didn't give me that
because they were confused too. They're just like, fuck it,
we'll just leave this one alone.
Yeah, they were just like,
we probably attempted it, and we're like, there's no easy way.
There's no easy way to make this song, which I disagree. They made a predicate song. They could do this one.
What's a predicate again? I gotta remember.
Subject. Mr. Morton is the subject of the story. And what the predicate says he does.
Okay. Wow.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Subject and predicate. They don't even really use those terms now at all. The predicate they don't use.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think so.
No wonder.
I haven't seen her
I
do
haven't
it
heard
yet.
that word in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when was the last time you've been in like elementary school?
But they change stuff just like the math. It all changes.
I ain't got time for all that extra shit. We are here, guys.
Wait. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Pluto is still a planet to me.
Sure. I mean, I don't disagree.
I know.
I don't think it matters though. Like if somehow you were like, if somebody was like, no, it's not a planet, you're like, okay.
No.
Look at that. Nothing changed.
I'm a little possessive over this, okay?
It's just weird to me that one day somebody was like, you know,
so what
Pluto.
do they call it?
It's supposed to be it's like a rock
like
a large
meteor.
Yeah, a large cluster or some stupid shit like that.
That just happens to be
planet size and have its own moon and orbit. Yeah, sure.
This is why I get a little offended.
I just feel like Pluto's like, well, fuck you guys then. I'm gonna go over here and I make my own universe with blackjack and hookers. Have a good time.
With you?
It's a movie. It was in a movie.
Keep saying that. I don't know such movies.
Blackjack and hookers.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So we are here, back to doing the shit we missed.
Shit we missed.
This one was actually our most recent shit we missed because it was literally last month. It was supposed to be part of the Halloween Extravaganza. I still haven't figured out a name for that. Halloween party. Whatever.
Halloween house calls.
Halloween.
Wow.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah. So we did house call.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It should just hit me. No, this was your pick.
Yes.
Was it?
Oh my
No,
God.
it was your pick.
No, this
Beetlejuice?
was your pick,
No.
Mom, because you didn't like Scary and Beetlejuice
No.
was mild for you.
No,
I
it wasn't.
picked
It
the
wasn't.
pick I picked.
You picked.
Wait, what pick did
you?
you
She
pick?
had the Witches of Eastwick. I picked the pick. I picked.
Did
Good
you do
one.
it?
Did he? Watch.
Sorry, South Park fans would understand.
Because 13 Ghosts was the one that we picked together
Okay.
to kind of just fuck with Mom.
Yeah.
And Hocus Pocus 2.
But you initially...
No, 13 Ghosts was yours. It was
Yeah,
my
that
pick.
was you,
Beetlejuice
right.
was my pick.
It
Ah,
was.
good time.
Yeah.
Good
I
guys.
remember
Good job,
your
guys.
pick.
Yes.
Because I figured because this is your movie, I figured you would have picked it because we didn't do it, so it just like escaped my mind. But yeah, this was my pick. Yeah, I picked this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I thought
And this was her movie. This girl could watch this movie at literally 2 years old twice a day, which is crazy.
and now her son is acting out the scenes. And that
He
shit
really did.
That shit had me dying yesterday when I was watching him watch that shit. And when I seen him roll up his sleeve so he could do the thing, so he could do the yeah. Oh my God, this dude with everything. He like laid down so he could get up when they like this kid, man.
Yeah,
he was on point.
It only makes sense that he's got a little weird obsession with this movie too.
Yeah, it does only make sense, I guess.
Yeah. I got tired of it.
But honestly, I can still watch it.
Yeah, well,
Well, obviously you have
you've only probably seen it like
a
5,000
cajillion
times in your lifetime.
I only felt scared because JJ wanted to watch it at night. At first, certain point, he was watching it every night, and Jay would put it on. And I was so mad because I was just like, damn, it's kind of scary right now. It's close to
It
bedtime.
has its moments. Has its moments where it can be.
I don't know. Thinking about death.
Legitimately
I don't want to think
scary.
about death before bed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to think about anything quote unquote scary before bed.
Yeah.
No.
Anybody who can is a psycho. You.
I don't know. I guess. Anyway, so yeah.
So let's get started.
All right.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
Dun, dun,
doesn't that sound like
dun, dun,
Here Comes
dun,
Halloween? It's got that same kind of dun dun dun. Here comes Halloween.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
mean,
same
I think
guy.
it's
I
the
mean,
same-
it is.
Danny
It's the same-
Elfman, I believe so.
It's
Yeah.
the same guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just like,
I like
you can
his
tell.
scores.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, that it's heard
But I still think
everywhere.
this is like the best movie this guy has done. Not that guy, but the guy Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
I don't really.
That's a tough one. I gotta
I
really
know
go into
you
the
love-
bag
Yeah, there's a lot of Tim Burton.
because I do like Nightmare
Yes,
Before
it is. I don't
Christmas.
like-
Batman Returns is obviously top tier.
No, I mean
What
in
other
terms of,
movie?
I mean,
'Cause I don't
Batman
like-
is-
I don't
but
like
Batman is
cor-
Batman, so I don't count Batman. I'm talking
Why?
about-
It's a Tim Burton
because
film.
he didn't make up Batman. I'm
He
talking
didn't make
about-
up half the stuff that he does.
Okay,
Who
but
came
there
up
are
with Beetlejuice
characters
then?
that we didn't
Because
know.
there's other writers who do the stuff. He's just
My
like he's a
point is,
director.
we knew Batman before Tim Burton. We didn't know Beetlejuice before Tim Burton.
I mean, you just said movie.
Well, I'm just saying.
You didn't say creation.
Point is,
Well, that's what she meant.
But that's not what
saying,
you
When you
said.
think of
So,
Tim Burton,
okay.
you think of Tim Burton's creation.
But I also think of Batman Returns because it's such a badass movie.
okay, but
Get
no,
outta
I'm
here.
talking about.
What do you want me to do?
I'm just talking about stuff that we didn't know before that was in his movie that we became introduced to. So, what other things
Nightmare
besides
Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before?
You can't see.
Yeah.
You can't keep trying to
There
take
you
it away
go.
from me.
I'm not trying. I'm just trying to find out what other things.
I think those,
Nightmare Before Christmas.
yeah, those
Okay,
are
what
both
else?
equally.
Batman Returns.
Oh my god!
It's just those
What else
two.
he got? I know.
I don't know, 'cause I didn't
Edward
like-
Scissorhands, but I didn't.
I don't like
that.
it. I didn't. I
That's too
was
weird.
never a huge fan of that movie.
The Court's
It
Bride.
bored me.
I've actually never seen that, but I heard it was good.
I don't like it. It bores me. And also,
I didn't see that. No.
I think it's like, to me, it's clearly the most overrated of all the ones because I feel like
What Corpse Bride?
because Corpse Bride has a core following of people who are late to Nightmare Before Christmas and they're just getting into shit. So they're like, yeah, Corpse Bride, such a good movie. It's boring. It bores the shit out of me. I just think that it's like it was clearly catered to the same people. We're trying to get that same audience, but it never did what Nightmare Before Christmas
He didn't
did.
do James and the Giant Peach, did he?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Although that movie bores the shit out of me. I fell asleep.
No, I actually tried to watch it in recent years. I was just like, this is not what I.
It is, but we saw that movie in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just weird.
Malcolm read the book. I could give a shit.
I honestly didn't know it was a book before.
I had no interest in James and the Giant Peach. Fuck this dude's Peach.
I think I liked it because it looked
I mean,
like a
it-
weird world.
yeah.
I liked that
Well,
animation.
animation
It
was
gave
cool,
you that.
but other than that, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Tim Burton looks weird too.
He is a weird dude. He's married to what's her face.
Oh,
Helen.
Alice in Wonderland. I forgot he did that.
You can't
one.
count those either if we're not counting
Oh,
Batman.
okay.
True.
Frankenweenie didn't see. Oh,
I didn't like that either.
That what's that thing?
Paranorman.
The
No, I don't think he did Paranorman. No.
You actually did because it had the same score as Beetlejuice.
Sleepy Hollow.
But the anime because he does like stop motion. I don't think that will stop. It might
Oh,
have
he
been
did Dark Shadows. That was disappointing.
Dark Shadows.
Yeah, it's Johnny Depp. It was based on yeah.
It's like they have a new show called What We Do in the Shadows on FX, which is like a remake of
Oh,
that,
he
but
did
it's
the,
funny. It's funny.
Miss
It's funny.
Peregrine. I did like Miss Peregrine's. Is that what it? Peregrine's.
Oh, because the
School
Falcon,
for,
Peregrine,
Peculiar Children.
yeah, I didn't see that.
Oh, that was.
I didn't see that.
Yes,
I read the book.
You didn't see it?
No.
Oh, that boom. That's
The book is decent,
yeah. It's actually worth seeing.
but I hear they change a lot from the movie.
Of course, they
The
always do.
important things.
But I never read the book. But I'm just saying it was interesting. It was it had its moments where it's like I don't want to watch it at night. But
what else you got on that
Let me
list?
see what else. Of course,
He does more than we think.
let's see. I'm
mean,
trying to find stuff.
not really.
Big Fish. I don't know.
I didn't
Does
see
he do smaller projects?
Oh, he did Dumbo.
the remake.
Yeah,
Up?
Well, that makes sense.
Wow.
That's why Danny DeVito was
he
in
did
it.
do James and the Giant Peach.
He looked like
He
the
did?
penguin.
He
kinda.
did
Yeah,
do
that
James
makes
and the Giant.
So honestly-
hey, guess what? Mars Attacks.
What's
Did
Mars
he?
Attack?
Yes.
You've never seen Mars Attacks?
No.
It is that if I didn't already do that when it was Date Night Pod, we would have done that for So Bad It's Good. Because that movie is it is fucking terrible.
Mars
It
Attack?
is. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Shut up.
Wow.
Yeah, the red
Ed
makes
Wood, Planet of the Apes. Well, we can't count that one because that's a
He did
remake.
that too?
The one with Mark Wahlberg?
2001, no.
Yeah, wait, 2001 Planet of the
that's
Apes.
the
Yeah,
older
that's the
one.
one.
That's Wahlberg?
That's the one with Mark Wahlberg in it.
That's the
That's the
older
Oh, it is.
remake.
You're right, you're right.
Yeah, because
That's the remake.
It's not the Charlton Heston was in that though.
Wait, when was the first Planet of the Apes?
Oh my gosh.
Like in the
girl.
70s, right?
Oh,
Something like that.
yeah.
I didn't. Okay, well, I didn't.
You
know
damn
about that
dirty apes.
one. I did not know about that.
Charlton
Yeah.
Heston looked like
So
a
he's
racist,
he been around a minute
but he's still
doing
garbage.
some real crappy stuff.
You know, honestly, I feel
for the
like
most
most
part.
people don't be knowing half that other shit. They just be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands,
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas."
That's why I was
true,
wondering.
Nobody knows.
No, that's
Now
why I
I
was.
don't know.
Oh,
He just-
and,
he just
what's
sneaks under
that?
the radar.
What is this?
I think they don't mention his name.
Is it District 9
outwardly
or what's it called?
Purposely.
This
Is it?
one.
Oh, 9. That's
Nine.
actually pretty
it's
good. I
just
like
9.
that one.
Okay.
Oh, he did that?
too.
Yeah, I know that one. That one's good. I like that one.
He's done a lot of stuff. Now,
It's
mostly
clear that his
he's done a lot of
animation is
good
better
stuff.
than anything else. Like
Yeah.
outside of this
Outside of Beetlejuice
and Batman.
because Edward Scissorhand was just
I just didn't get it.
yeah.
Like,
that
it
was a
played a lot.
What do they call it? A fever. What
A
is
fever dream.
it? Yeah.
Oh, he did that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory bullshit.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
makes-
mention that because
that makes sense.
Number one, it's a remake,
But it's bullshit.
It was terrible.
and he's got an obsession with Johnny Depp, obviously.
Johnny Depp's got an obsession with himself. Fucking weirdo.
Yeah. So, all right. So now we know.
All right, so we get you already. I guess you already kind of alluded to it with your awesome vocal skills. The opening score is
Yeah.
pretty damn awesome of this movie.
Honestly,
it definitely gives it an identity.
I
Yeah.
love it. It made it stands out. The score really does stand out. It's not your usual, classical
Yeah.
or
Especially with
classical
the
orchestra.
with the
No, that's
with the
John.
hair-
That's John Williams. He
especially
fucks with the orchestra.
Harry Belafonte thrown all up in there. That just
That gave them
Yeah.
personality as a
Yeah.
couple, where it's like, oh, they like Harry Belafonte.
yeah.
That's how they
Mm-hmm.
tell people they're not racist. How can I be racist? I like Harry Belafonte. What are you talking about? I
White
guess it's
people
nothing
liked
racist.
Harry Belafonte.
I'm just saying. It's like the I have black
They
friends.
they thought he was safe.
definitely the
but Harry
equivalent.
Belafonte, even though he liked the white women, he still was a black man, and he was about them civil rights.
Yeah.
Public service announcement.
So, anyways, they're a boring ass couple. They gift each other like arts and crafts for their anniversary, which is cute and it makes sense for
Yeah.
them. But they're boring as shit.
Well, they talk about, I don't know. I think I'm thinking about a few things here. I'm like, why did they purchase this home? Did they purchase this home?
They wanted to be off the grid per se, and out of the. They want to be in the country and have and stuff, and they wanted projects. So that's why they bought that old ass house.
Although I have a theory, and I'll get to it. But I'll get to
we
it when
gotta
I get
continue,
there.
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, so at this point, they're exchanging gifts because it's their anniversary,
Right.
and they talk about vacation.
They're on vacation.
And
They're
like, what do you
vacationing
wanna
at
do?
home.
We're just gonna
Right.
stay home
Staycation.
and do stuff around the house. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
And,
Kind of makes me wonder what he does for a living, though, if they're on vacation.
I think he must
Right?
have been an architect or
I
something.
think
feel
so.
Like
I think he might
that's
have
what
been.
gives
The
me
way
argument.
He looks
scaled
like he
that
looks like
town
he,
and everything.
yeah, he looks like he's
Yeah.
an architect kind. And she teaches kickboxing classes because you never expect it. She gets in there, and she just beats the shit out of everybody.
I imagine
No
that.
pain, no gain,
I mean,
motherfucker.
Okay,
I can't see
I'm
Gina
gonna skip
Davis
ahead a
doing
little
that.
bit. The way she punched that worm, come on,
She
like-
tamed the worm. What are we talking about?
Hey, did you ever see the long kiss goodbye?
Yeah,
or
we
whatever?
did that for
Yeah.
for one of our Christmas
Yeah,
episodes.
she kind of was a little badass in that. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of. It's a bit, and it's a strong kind of because
Whatever, I like her.
She is. I love Gina Davis, but I
always have
it
loved
just
Gina
felt
Davis.
like watching her in that role nothing has ever felt more forced to me.
What is it called
than
again?
The Long Kiss Goodnight. It's actually a pretty funny movie. That Samuel L. Jackson. It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. You know what, Gina Davis? Now I was like, she was an it girl for a minute.
For sure.
She definitely had her time when she was in
that giant
bunch of stuff, and she was. And you just liked watching her and stuff, and she had varied roles and stuff like that. I'm just giving, so we know who we're talking about, because some people who might be younger, because she's not so in the limelight nowadays. She did play the president on a show.
She was in Glow.
Oh,
she was?
Yeah,
Wait.
she played like the president of a casino or something like that.
Why don't I remember that? Because I watched it.
I didn't get very far.
I watched all
I
the
think
seasons.
I did. I watched them.
How many seasons are there?
There were 3, and
There
I'm
were 3
very
seasons.
very upset that they canceled that.
It was actually a good show.
It was a very good show.
Yeah.
I cried a little bit. No big deal. There's some moments.
Anyway, just crying on the podcast.
So anyway, that's Gina Davis.
That's Gina Davis. Also, Alec Baldwin is in
Of
this movie
course.
as Adam. He's
Yes.
young, tiny head of the family. Alec Baldwin.
It's so funny. Like, I don't know. It's like, I did not know that was him for a long time. And
Yeah, you didn't put it together that was.
Yeah, but I'm like,
Because
that does not
he
look
evolved.
like him.
Because before, because he was a young, good-looking guy, they tried to keep him in that role. But when he started really like stepping out comedic,
I think we talked about that too during our Fun with Dick and Jane
yeah.
episode. We talked about the exact same thing.
Yeah, he's like that. And then of course there's Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton before this, he did Mr. Mom. It's a good movie, but
think
that
I've
was
seen parts of it 'cause
that
I
was
was
his main thing. Everybody knew him from Mr. Mom because it was an awesome film. And then Beetlejuice came. You barely recognize, like, that's Michael Keaton. He played the heck out of this character.
He really
made
took on the role.
he made this a cult character now. Like it's around forever.
Honestly, yeah.
Michael Keaton was Batman.
Yes. I know that.
First and foremost, huh?
I just,
But it wasn't before that.
Well, when did this movie? Because this was 80, what? 80?
Hold on. This, what, 88?
Look it up.
Because if this was 88, then yeah, because Batman came out 89.
Yeah, I think this was first.
Beetlejuice.
Or how about
This is
you just say-
1988.
So anyways, they got each other boring ass gifts, and apparently their friend, Jane, tries to get them.
Friend / realtor.
We don't, like, honestly, okay, so let's talk about something real quick. The things in this movie, like, like, this could be from their everyday life, but you don't really get
this was
who
before that.
Jane is. You just know she comes around, she's annoying.
She's clearly, they don't like her. They clearly
she's
don't
their-
like
She's
her.
their realtor.
Barbara tolerates her more than Adam does, clearly, because
Well,
he
she just doesn't like to be, she likes to be nice or whatever.
Well, she seems friendlier with her. Adam is like, get the fuck out of here. Like, 'cause and then they kind of
But
hint
she's
at
nosy,
they
all up
hint
in their
at them
business.
not having kids.
Yeah.
But
or not
and it's
being
like-
able to
But
have
she
kids.
said, it's so funny because to explain to the viewers, she's talking about selling the house. Oh, we already got an offer, a big offer. And she's like, stop trying to sell my house. And she's like, hey, this really should be a house.
Said
for
it's too
a
much
family
house
with
for you.
kids. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
like, the way she said it, I'm like, you said all those words. You could have stopped yourself mid sentence. You
Yeah.
let it get out because
But
you want.
you know what? And it's also weird because, all right, a lot of this is like not really important to the story, but it gets us to where we're going. But one of the things that is kind of led, like the way she reacts to what she said is like,
Right.
oh, she can't have kids.
Right.
But then when they're driving later, like, okay, so they go to the store and they're on their way back. I love how quick this movie gets to the fucking point too. I will say that.
That's true.
I love that
That's
about this
true.
movie.
It
We're
does.
not even like 7 minutes in, and this
Yeah.
shit's about to get shit already starts happening.
Yeah.
But when you're coming back, he says like we could try again.
Well, that's what that's what he said. We could try. It's in other words. It's like
haven't
in other
given up
words,
hope.
he was just saying he just want to get busy. Whether
I
they
don't
can
know.
do it, or not.
But that's a weird statement, especially coming from him.
Well, it's just saying. Well, then what
'Cause-
she was saying is they just hadn't been able yet. She hadn't gotten pregnant.
But her reaction didn't say
Or
that. Her
maybe she had
reaction was like,
miscarriages.
her reaction
Yeah.
says there was something else going on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because it never comes back up.
It's way deeper. Than
But
the
it also,
movie.
you know what?
But-
And now I'm seeing it. It explains Barbara's the way she is with Lydia,
with Lydia,
which
yeah.
is
Yeah.
now it's creepier. This is how a horror movie starts, and I like it. This is what's the fucking movie? The Glass House shit.
Oh.
That's what this is. That's how that starts.
Pretty
We're
much.
looking crazy.
She was
No.
poisoning.
So I guess that
She
this
was
is where
gonna
I
kill her,
started
though.
anyway. I kind of went when they were driving into town, and they went and got all their little
Supplies.
in town stuff. They're speaking to all the people in town. There's
He
the
walks
old-
into that store and just
old
grabs the
man.
shit, puts the money in the register, and
old
walks
man
out.
is
I need a
sitting
town
up
like
there.
that.
For real.
having a whole conversation with him
He got
to
hair
himself.
all over his goddamn shoulder. I said, just trim it a little.
That's the
That's what I was like. I thought to know because his conversation started. Well, yeah, you know, the building was built in 1873, and then when he comes out, he's talking about his grandson's hair. I was like, yo, this story. No, someone. I need that. I need that outtake.
Somebody knows
I need
that
to know
person.
how he transitioned from there because clearly it's very important.
He just kept going. and going.
You know, there was a rolling in between. It was like he was just saying all kind of stuff.
I would have been dying. I was like, he was like, so when he comes out, you're gonna have a completely different story. It's like, man, action.
he look. He didn't need to be prompted.
Nah, he did. He was like, he was like, oh, you guys are filming.
Oh, we're doing.
So no one's actually listening to my stories. I thought they were in Maine for the longest time because I don't know, man.
What's in Maine? Huh?
I don't know.
White
It's all
people.
it's all the quote unquote New England.
Maine
states.
scares me the most, though.
Delaware, Connecticut.
I don't know why. If
get
if I was trapped,
Rhode
if it was
Island.
if it was a horror movie, I don't want to be in anywhere deep Texas
Oh,
or in
Nowhere in the
Maine.
deep south.
Those are the only two places that are like off the table.
no. I
could
got a
get it. I
problem
could
with
do it.
Rhode Island because it's just because of the way it looks on the map. It's so dang tiny.
That's where the killers are.
It's so small. It's like you would disappear in there. This thing could just break
That's
off
fair.
and float away or something.
I
don't
always
know.
forget New Hampshire's a state.
Yeah, New Hampshire. That's another one.
Wow.
I always forget that it's
I
there.
know.
Ever hear
It's like
anybody-
Montana for me because I'd be like, "Oh shit, Montana
Do you
does
ever
exist."
hear
Who's from
anybody
there?
say, yeah, they're
Yeah.
from
New Hampshire?
or,
Nobody.
or Montana? Or,
I know. I barely remembered Vermont was a thing because of Bernie
Yeah.
Sanders and shit,
Wow.
but I don't
and
remember.
maple syrup
I thought that came from Canada.
yeah, me too.
in Vermont.
I don't care about no Vermont. Canada.
No.
They're not
It's
called the
just as
Vermont.
much.
They're not called the Vermont Maple Leafs. It's Toronto Maple
Oh my
Leafs.
gosh. Okay. Whatever. They got maple.
know that.
They got
'Cause of
They
maple.
got the trees that they.
I bet you it's better than Canada.
You bet you it's better than Canada.
In Canada.
In Canada.
I don't know about that.
You don't know.
You don't either.
I know. I'm just saying. I bet it is.
I feel like
You know
it's
why?
better
Because
than
Vermont doesn't have a team called the Maple Leafs. Hey,
His
look,
logic
Okay.
is airtight.
Well, I don't think Vermont has a team.
they don't. And that, hey, you know why? Because they're probably not very dope.
Yeah.
I bet their maple
Okay.
sucks.
So-
Sorry if you're from Vermont, but your state probably sucks.
And your maple.
So now they're on their way back, and they go over the bridge, and they're having their little conversations. And
Then they see a
this
dog.
is when, she sees the dog because
With
she
the
was kind of
dog-
like laughing, and then looked up. The dog
But
was
the
there.
dog was there. Like when they went into town, you see the dog.
The dog is the angel of death.
Yeah, he was there. Like he was. Around
Yeah, he
the
was.
bridge.
He was when they came
So
across,
you
when they were
saying
in the
this was a
town, he was
plan?
there chilling. He was like he goes past the shop when he goes in there. This dog is the angel of death. He tries to kill. He
He
kills
was
him.
waiting for him.
Yeah, he knew what this was. He was like, how did he get in front of them? They have a car.
Even more
Yeah.
proof. Even more proof.
Interesting.
You know, when they're about to hit him, they swerve to the side and break a hole in the bridge, the wall of the bridge.
And then
or
he's
whatever.
And
standing,
somehow,
and he's standing.
he's
on
holding,
the plank
that's
holding
holding
the
the
car.
car up, which is crazy.
and they're like,
They
no, no,
turn
no, no, no,
around.
no, no.
And then
And
he
that
hops
dog's
off.
like, you're
So
dead.
let's talk about something real
He didn't
quick.
even hesitate.
They could have got out of
I feel
there.
like they could have survived.
They could have survived. Oh my god.
But
Their windows
could
were
have,
open.
or-
Every
could've
time I
swam
see
out.
that, because I'm just thinking like, just open the door and swim out. You're not in the ocean. It's not. There's only so far that river can go.
Well, but the water pressure is hard. But I'm saying
No,
the
that
window was
water
open.
pressure gets harder the deeper you go. They're not that deep in. But when that hit, they were still top flared
Well-
out. They could have done it. They could have got out.
Have you ever tried to get out of a car when it's in water?
No, I saw that in Fear Factor. It gave me fucking anxiety.
Ooh, no.
You must be high out your mind. Unless I have to. I'm not volunteering myself.
Nah.
But I could. 100% I
Bottom
would.
line is
They could have got
they
out.
were dead.
I said we'll see.
The fuck does that mean?
How about we don't?
Yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
Anyway, so
Psycho.
they walk back to the house like nothing's happening.
Well, they walk in, they're all wet.
They're wet.
She's like, oh, he was like, don't worry, just get by the fire, everything will be cool. And then the fire goes, whoosh.
Well, they also explain they don't know how they got back.
Well, they don't explain that yet.
No, they do.
Before they get to the fire?
I wrote it. Yes, I wrote it.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. What the fuck are you talking about?
Okay, so
because they don't even realize anything's wrong yet. They go to the fire, and then that's when they start to notice because she gets her hand caught on fire, but she still got like 2 birthday candles on her hand. Because that's how they're lit. Yeah. They are lit like birthday candles.
It looks cool.
And then she's like, she blows them bitches out, and he's like, whoa, okay. She was like, I'm gonna go. I forgot what she said, but she was gonna do something. He was like, don't do shit yet. How the fuck did we get here? Do you remember how we got here? This motherfucker was like, I'm gonna go retrace our steps. And he steps out. He's like, what the fuck?
He falls into some sand.
Yeah, this shit. And I want the explanation for this. Why the not being able to leave your house is one thing. Usually when that happens, there's like an invisible barrier that just stops them from leaving the house.
Right.
This shit transports them to another planet. Like, what the fuck?
Just a little touch.
It's like learn your place, ghosty. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But she comes out, she grabs him, and she's like, "Yo, you were gone for a long time." He's like, "I've only been gone for like 5 seconds." Like, no, you were out there forever.
But I wonder what they see before they go out the door. They don't really show that.
Well, it kind of does.
No, it's
because
like it kind of looks dark.
Because that's what it was like nothing. Because when he first opens it, it's like,
and it's just so fast.
It's like a
just
silhouette.
Like open it and just goes.
And then all of a sudden,
what did she
it's
see?
like,
how did she pull him up?
Well, because she must have seen him when she went out after him. At some point, she had to have been like, he'd been gone for a long ass time.
But it was just him that went out.
What do you mean?
It was just him that went out.
She opened the door.
She opened the door and sees the sand, or
they go to the same place. Their door goes to.
She didn't go out.
She didn't go out. She grabbed.
That's
him.
what I'm saying.
Well, I don't think he went all the way out. He took a couple of steps off the porch and was like, "Holy shit!"
he fell into the sand.
Oh, well, that's
right. But remember, it was only a few seconds for him.
That's what I'm saying.
And I can understand that. Yeah. But even then, even if it was a few seconds or a few hours, she went to go find him. She opens the door. What does she see? Does she see pitch black? Does she see the sand? Does
same
she
thing.
See him?
Probably the same thing. That the transition from what would be out there to nope, not anymore.
So what? She poke half her body out so she didn't get like stuck
that's
out
the
there
part.
That's you got to wrap a string around yourself, right? Tie it to the dryer
that's
or something.
One of those things that has no explanation. It really doesn't.
There's honestly a lot in this that I really need to know. Like I need the lore. I know some nerd somewhere has written it on Wikipedia.
They did just enough to where they don't have to explain things.
I mean, when I was a kid, sure, but not anymore. I need answers. I have questions.
But I'm saying, like,
I have fucking questions now.
The story itself, they did.
The story itself is still fine.
But I'm saying,
but there's a lore here that is like that is ripe for exploring. They don't do it in the cartoon because the cartoon is garbage. Because what happens is she does except for the first episode where Beetlejuice comes to the real world. She goes there pretty much every other episode when she says it. She ends up in the afterlife or whatever, and then there's like cities and other shit like that. But
because it's a
fucking dumb cartoon.
It has to because it needs all kind
of colors and characters and shit. Yeah. Well, it's the same thing with like Jumanji. That doesn't make any sense. Why are they going in the game? That wasn't how that shit worked.
They did a cartoon.
Yeah, there was a cartoon. It was terrible. It was fucking garbage.
Oh, wait, a cartoon?
Yes.
Wow.
There was a cartoon where they would just come after school and be like, yeah, time to play some Jumanji. What? And then they go in the game, learn a lesson, and then come back out. And then Alan is still stuck in the game.
Wow.
Poor guy. They just leave him every episode. It's pretty fucked up.
Interesting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was stupid as fuck. I can't believe they actually did that.
Wow.
But they did.
Makes me upset.
Yeah, so that's when she starts telling him like we don't have a reflection, and also there's this book. Handbook. Yeah, see, I told you that shit was ugly. Yeah, handbook for the recently diseased. She was like deceased. He looks at it like,
I like how
how about that?
Like how they do the music after
it stops.
It sounds all like
they have to play it again once he gets the word right. He said deceased. Dun, dun. It's like, all right, yeah. He's like, what the fuck?
Love it.
You know what? I don't think we survived the crash.
Oh yeah.
No, that was anyway.
Well, no, they say that.
No,
he does that. He says, because she says something like, something like along the lines of like, I don't understand what's going on. You're like, I don't think any of that matters because we didn't survive.
So now they're like tripping, off the fact they're discovering they're dead. And then they were like sleeping, why do they have to sleep?
But no, not yet.
Oh,
now
not
we
yet.
cut the scene where you see this dirty place and stuff.
Yeah, they're irritated because they can't.
Chilling.
Because they can't. She says she can't sweep.
Oh no, we're not
Is that not it?
yet.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the point. Now they cut to Beetlejuice. He's chilling and he's looking at the newspaper, the obituary.
I wrote it down. Oh, what's it called? It's Afterlife newspaper.
And then he's
stupid.
like, the Maitlands.
Look pretty nice and stupid.
So what I'm getting from this, now that we've watched the whole movie and we've analyzed it a bit, I'm getting from this that he tries to look for these people that are recently deceased to try to trick them into calling his name.
Yeah.
Well, see, I think because it's twofold. Because honestly, I think what we kind of figured out yesterday was his title is bioexorcist, right? Which means like an exorcist comes and he gets demons out of people or spirits out of people.
Right.
Bioexorcist tries to get the living out of the living. So he doesn't want to scare them. He wants to kill them.
Yeah.
That's his whole deal. He literally wants to start killing people.
Honestly,
And
this could have been a lot darker.
it's already there. Like you're just missing.
If they ever, and I wouldn't be surprised.
They will. It's
Honestly,
happening.
I just hope they do justice. That's all.
I just hope they don't.
I just hope they
I don't
don't.
mind if they do.
just
I would like
know
to see a prequel. A prequel.
Nah, if you do it, just do like an animated thing and have it there. I don't want
to turn out like the cartoon.
No, because
not like that, but more.
No, not that. Not like a cartoon show, like a
animated
movie.
Okay,
like a movie, like a good animation.
But I don't know. I think it's gonna lose something.
It's always gonna lose something. Hey, Winona Ryder, your days are behind you. It's enough.
I bet if you offered her, she's still playing.
Of course she would. That's so. How do you think
she would be in there? She'd have to be an older character of herself. They couldn't do a remake.
Well, so what is she going to be? This? I was like, you're too old to be a depressed little goth girl anymore.
Exactly,
like those days are over.
And also, she could be the depressed goth adult.
No,
nah,
she probably
hell
won't.
no. I don't want to see
she'd
that
be
shit.
Like, it's just like in Jumanji when they change the characters. They grow up, like the lady who was the little girl who was over there, and how you got to evolve the character. So she's no longer goth, but she might be, and then she comes into contact with a young, more, not, emo or whatever the heck it is now, kid, and she's like,
well, emo and goth are actually like two different things.
I don't know what the thing is.
You can be emo without being goth.
Now?
Yeah, they're still goth.
Oh, okay.
They still exist.
Well, it didn't exist when I was a teenager, so I guess that's just
they're not going anywhere. The goths,
and actually, goths they just grow into adult goths.
Some of them. Only our generation does that.
You mean don't?
I don't know.
You mean don't grow up? I'm not talking about you in particular.
Our generation is the best because while all of you guys, while all your other generations are pressured into growing out of the things you love, we said fuck that, and we love the things we loved all the way up into adulthood, and it's awesome.
I'm gonna keep watching cartoons.
You're damn right.
Big ass kids.
Hey,
Anyway.
and we're awesome at it.
Yeah. Anyway, but I just hope they don't. Addie, this Wonder Twin shit.
Yeah. So what's going on here? Okay, so this is when they're asleep for no reason. She's floating, and he steals a blanket. Do they get cold?
No,
Probably not. They're just used to it.
Yeah,
That makes sense, I guess. Habits, old
and then
habits.
they hear
and stuff.
something.
I still know because I remember they were saying they were cold before, and I think when you die, you just get cold. And
Well, they were wet. I
feel like it was mentioned when they weren't.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay, so anyways, so yeah.
So they hear the noise because suddenly, they start. That's when they slide in that trunk or whatever that hits the stairs.
And I like that guy. Sorry. That's it. They was just like, sorry.
They don't even care. These movies don't care. They're wrecking.
So
everything.
enter the Dietzes.
You got Delia Dietz. You got Charles Dietz.
Played by Catherine O'Hare. Played by Jeffrey Jones.
And Lydia.
Played by Winona Ryder.
Yes.
So they're moving.
And I love what's her name? The mother.
Delia.
I just
She's
love her.
fucking
I loved
amazing.
her in Home Alone. She's
Great in everything.
she is,
You have
she
to
is.
watch Schitt's Creek. It's a funny show.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I have
She
seen
is
this.
hilarious in that, man. She has to be dying.
Yeah.
But so they're basically like looking at the house, and then we get fucking Otho, the worst character in this entire movie. He irritates my life.
Yeah,
he irritates because you know it's like everybody knows a person like that who's like, I know everything. Like, fuck, dude. I also used to do. I used to do that. Like, shut the no. You're a liar. You're a liar. That's why they even looked at like there's a scene when they mention where he talks about I'm almost as good as my interior design, and everybody they're all just like
looking like.
All right, buddy, whatever you say. Okay. Yeah, it's like so he's not like, Barry.
Yeah, I took a course in this. Oh
yeah, he's a chemist. So they're basically gonna fuck the house up.
Yeah, basically.
And Charles is like, "Yo, we came out here to get away from all this bullshit."
He's like, "Can I just relax?
Just don't fuck the house up."
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, you can fuck a little bit, but don't be fucking up a lot."
And then as they're touring around trying to look in this house, you got Adam and Barbara. They're trying to scare them off. You got Barbara. She's hiding in the closet, and she's hanging from the closet, rips her face off,
and they don't see.
But they don't see her.
These clothes, the wedding dress, ew. But they can't see them or anything like that.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of random shit. They're marking the colors of what they're gonna do, the walls, and boring shit that no one cares about. And then they get to the office, and you see this motherfucker has this. They like she cut his head off. Why are they doing it like a still frame? That's the part that gets me about this. Like this is
they're just waiting there. Well, they just wanted somebody to how you come into something and you see something.
You got to give a little movement though. Like it's weird that they're like draw me like one of your French girls. Like what are you doing, dude? Like
they're mannequins or something.
Yeah, that's what it's like. Yeah. It's weird because it's not.
But you got to think about it. They don't know.
But if you saw, you saw it. But then you go,
I don't know. It's gonna be scary if I, if I see something that looks.
But
real
that's what I'm saying. They're green.
Yeah.
The point is they're illustrating how green they are at this.
Man,
trying to
they're terrible. I've never scared anybody as a ghost, but I'd be pretty good at it my first day out.
You're pretty sure about that?
I think I'd be pretty good, especially if I have to scare kids. Oh fuck yeah.
Messed up.
I hope I get ghost powers.
Every time I tell anybody how I've like scared anybody, like I said, I have equal opportunity. I scared old people, kids, babies, all of it.
Hey, I hate that. Look, I think you're immature if you get scared as an adult and you get mad. You gotta be some kind
It depends on the scare though, because because there's situations where it's like
scared. No.
Because I'll tell you one time the worst scare I ever had was we were in Monrovia and I was coming home from school. Mom wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know why the hell she was there, but she heard me unlocking the door, come around out the kitchen, scare me. I jumped like legitimately back. I did like a back roll back into the door. That shit got me, dude. And I'm telling you, whenever I die, you have to add at least 15 years onto that because she took those off. That's what happened. I don't care what happens. That shit got me. That was the worst. I'd never just jumped so high out of my skin.
That's okay.
I was like, oh man,
she wanted it so bad.
Ripe for the picking on this.
Those are the worst. Those are the ones. I could be mad after that one.
It's terrible.
I have to take advantage when you can.
Look. I have to admit it's terrible, but not terrible enough not to do it. Like I literally have been scaring all of you since you were friggin' infants. It's just
nothing life threatening.
That's like you got to stop admitting that on air because you sound like a crazy person.
Okay, so there was this
like an absolute psychopath.
There was this thing recently around Halloween where daycare workers were scaring the kids.
No, that's different though. Because they would just put the mask on and be like all up in their face. It's like, what the fuck do you expect them to do? That's different.
That was bad.
Scaring, what we mean is like catching you off guard and trying to startle you. You know what I mean? We're not trying to fucking give you nightmares.
Yeah, no. Just surprise.
And then, even though I think that was fake.
You think the story was
fake? No, the story was real, but the one you shared, I saw that the interviews were fake. The interviews were fake.
But it was funny as hell.
Sick though. Yeah. That's crazy.
It was stupid.
Yeah. But anyway, I enjoyed it. Thank you. Don't have no more kids, but if you do, they're gonna get scared.
I'll be scared, my baby. He actually laughs though. Thankfully.
Yeah,
I know he's a little jerk.
He doesn't get scared.
It's no fun to scare him.
No.
Jaden, he's the
I'm
funniest.
scared.
So Jada get mad.
That's not funny.
So yeah. Then she's Jeff. I was gonna call him Jeffrey.
Barbara runs out the door to Saturn.
Well, wait, but before that,
Saturn, yeah.
Oh, do they do that now?
Well, yeah, that was after they couldn't get to work, and she was upset that they couldn't see him, and she
was like, "What's the point of scaring somebody if they can't even see you?"
Yeah, and she runs out, and that's when they see that
the flyer. When first they see the flyer. Remember, it was a flyer about Beetle guys.
That wasn't first. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Never mind.
Yeah, she runs out the door, but they go back in. She's like, "What the heck?" You know, they're just a quick little thing.
You're getting all yellow. That shit had me dying.
Yellow.
I'm like, well, yeah, they are getting yellow.
So now at this point, I think it's like, I don't know if the same day or next day, but construction starts.
Well, the time every time they leave, there's like a huge time jump.
Yeah, I think there is.
It could be hours, it could be days. Yeah. At one point, it's got to at least be a week worth. Yeah. So there's time.
It's moving along.
Yeah. So
which I like.
Starts. They're doing stuff in the house.
There are sculptures.
Jane drops by, to pay her respects, and also she gives Lydia this skeleton key, and she says it's to open all the doors in the house. And so,
can I say something? So skeleton keys are real. We had them at my grandmother's house.
I know it.
That's how the locks were made, and it was literally made, which is crazy because then you could get into any door. So I don't really understand why we had skeleton keys. So that was a real thing.
Why is it called a skeleton key?
Oh, because they were clearly made out of dead people.
They were made out of bones. That's a good
question.
They probably whittled them out of bones.
I don't know. It is a weird terminology. I guarantee you it has something to do with pirates or some shit like that. Like it's got to be as pirates are in real life. But but they were not nearly as interesting as they are in the movies.
Of course. What can we use that's sturdy enough and cheap enough?
Boom.
We got this cemetery.
We got so many dead bodies to make all the keys we want.
Probably.
I'm
curious to look that up.
But I like because this is Jane, as self-serving as she is all the time. She was like, "Yeah, they were family. I was devastated." It's like nobody asked. Not a single person asked you.
She's like, at least they didn't have a lot of family.
Also, think it's weird that she gave the skeleton key to the child.
Yeah,
like Jane, you're terrible at this. You are very bad at your.
She figured she lives there. No, she'll give it.
She was like, "This is a skeleton key. It'll open." She just dropped it off and left. Like
she said, give that to your mom and dad.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Parents. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's not how that
you
works.
Don't give it to a child.
Look at that. Look at her though. Look at her.
Does she look responsible?
She is clearly not giving that key to her parents. She is going to the first locked door and opening that shit up.
Yep.
And that's exactly what she did.
So this point she goes up to the attic and she tries to open it and
okay. So it says a skeleton key, also known in North America as a pass key, is a type of master key in which the serrated edge has been removed in such a way that it can open numerous locks, most commonly the warded lock. The term derives from the fact that the key has been reduced to its essential parts. Get it?
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
like that was made out of bones. That's the rumor I'm spreading.
Because it doesn't look like a skeleton.
Boring.
Well, there we go.
All right, back to it. Now that
I can't believe
that boring information.
I'm mad that I know the truth now.
I know.
Ruins my whole life. Damn, ignorance is bliss. Bullshit.
All right, so they block the door from her opening it, and then that's when all of a sudden TV comes on in the attic.
The Beetlejuice commercial.
Yeah, it literally says Beetlejuice.
But there was a flyer before that. They saw the flyer. That's what I was saying. The flyer was before the commercial.
There is a flyer. I'm trying to remember if it's before or after.
It was
because
before.
He does. I think it's before it. Because he picks it up and he was like having trouble with the living, blah blah blah. Yeah. Beetlejuice.
Right.
And that's
yeah, probably. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Not big because it just comes up here.
But I'm saying it is so he's already kind of been
introduced.
Mentioned.
I think it's when they first move in.
I can't. No, it's because I wrote it when it happened.
I know they're in the attic when he sees it.
It was after the Deetzes got there.
All right. Well, yeah, we see the commercial, the Beetlejuice commercial.
Yeah,
it's so before Lydia sees them. Actually,
it's funny. He's all dressed up. He's got a cowboy, and then he's got the He's got the horse on a stick. The horse, the little toy or whatever.
It's funny because you can clearly see that he's in the model because of the fake cow.
Right.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Wow.
True. Did he not notice that?
He says he wants to kill those people in that commercial though.
He does?
Yeah, he's bad because he's talking about a free demon possession. He was like, I'll kill. He was like, I'll kill anyone you want me to kill. That's that part of the song.
He did, huh?
And then he's like, I'll eat anyone you want me to eat. I'll kill anyone you want me to kill.
Dang.
Come on down, I'll chew on a dog.
If there wasn't comedy behind this,
I don't know what the fuck that is, but I'd be like, what? So wait, what does he do?
look, that's how good it was. You were just like, this guy does stuff.
He said, I'll give
pay
you
him for
a
the
free
services.
demon possession with every job or some shit like that. I'm like, yo, wait, what? What's happening?
What?
How? I don't understand. What are we paying you?
First of all,
look, he would have had me convinced. I didn't even hear all that. I've been like, I might call him up.
If you could ever get that name right, it does. Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse. So then he's just like, no, fuck it. Let's see what this book says. The book says, if you're in trouble, draw a door. And he draws a door. And he puts the knob on the wrong side as far as I'm concerned. And then, now they're in like the afterlife waiting room. This is probably the coolest set piece here.
I said they made a door to the underworld of death.
The underworld of death, really?
Is there a different underworld?
I don't know.
What's the underworld of life looking like?
I think it's just underworld.
But it's the after.
mob.
Yeah. What?
The mob.
Really, Mom?
You're weird. You're right, but it's still. But yeah, so they're in here, and this clearly Miss America dead lady who slit her wrist in life.
Yeah,
she's giving them sass because she's like, it is very weird that they're all acting like all of this shit is common knowledge.
Well, because she's stressed. She's like, did you really read the handbook?
Well, they were supposed to read the handbook.
But honestly, if you're newly dead, regardless of how much time keeps passing every time you go into fucking sandworm land, my priority isn't reading this fucking handbook that shows up out of nowhere.
It must be common for people to try to believe they're not dead first.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It has to be more common than not.
All
those people, well, not even just that. All those people are in that waiting room because they need help.
Think about it.
They read the handbook.
Think about it.
Well, they're just getting. I think they're just getting processed in.
Hold up. Think about it. It is like this is the office, like the county office. They're insensitive towards folks. You don't know nothing. They're like,
I hate
you don't
that
know.
Shit too. I'm not going to have. I'm like, she was like. And then I like because there is a part where she's like, "Oh, is this what happened when you die?" She's like, "That is what happened when he dies, and that is what happened when he dies, and this is what happened when you die.
It's all very personal."
And let me tell you something: if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. Everybody's like, I'm like, "Shut up! Why are you green?"
Well, maybe that's what she looked like when they found her.
Why are you?
No, it bothers me because they're not green, but that dude who was clearly bitten by a snake is all like green, and then the dude who was eaten, who wasn't even eaten, who had like one leg eaten by a shark, is blue. So it's like, and then there's that blue dude who's clearly a zombie-esque creature. Half the people who are working in the office are blue or green. There's no rhyme or reasoning for why they are, and it kind of bothers me because they just you slit your wrist,
like it represents death, like they're discolored.
Yeah, but it's like you slit your wrist, so then you just become green.
No. Maybe it took him a while to fly.
Or maybe she's been dead a while, and that represents how dead you are.
Then these dudes, I don't know, man. It's just
maybe
weird.
The other guy's blue.
Also, that has to suck. You get half eaten by a shark. You have to live with that shark for the rest of your life. Like the fuck?
That shark died too. He choked on his foot.
That is terrible. That's fucking terrible. I would be pissed. I'd be like, you know what, shark? We got to figure this out because we can't live like this.
I feel sorry for the small head dude. I really want to know what happened.
Well, that is what happened. You're not living with a shrunken head.
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, you get your head shrunk,
you should see his body in real life. His head is detached and somebody's got it around his neck as a goddamn necklace. I want to know how that guy died, the head shrinker dude, because he's just there. He looks like he's pretty chilling.
Maybe
towards
one of the other poachers.
Towards the end, one of the
other poachers got him.
He died. Look, he killed him.
He clearly got shot. Somebody else shot him. He was like, "You son of a bitch."
That's crazy.
Good thing he still has his magic pouch in the afterlife.
This is the only reason why I want a prequel. Right. I need to know details like that.
There's a lot going on here, just in this scene. But yeah, so they get
a flat guy.
He got ran over.
Yeah,
and they just have him on a pulley system.
And he's a comedian, apparently.
Yeah, so he pulls them. He guides them.
They got to go see Juno.
Yeah, he guides them through this scary hallway. It's all twisted up, looks scary with doors. I'm wondering what the doors, what are in there. One of them has what did they say it was? Oh, the door with the lost souls. And
he was like, yeah, that's for what happened to him, because he was very specific about what actually happened. He was like, that's a doorway of lost souls. They're souls who something like there's death for the dead.
Yeah,
like definitely said. But what did he say? Oh fuck, it's gonna kill me.
I forget,
because it is. He was like, that's what happens to souls who
lost their ways
or something like that. But they're dead.
Yeah, but so yeah, this what
souls who have been exorcised. That's what he said. So like, yeah, they got exorcised. So now they're dead. That sucks.
Damn. You just put in a room and you just float around.
You just like.
I like it was the wise janitor.
Of course, should have been black though. That's the only way that works. So yeah, Juno basically, they meet Juno. They get into the house, and the house has changed. This is why I believe it's like weeks. It has to at least been weeks. There's no way you get all that done in a couple of days. That's weeks worth of work, maybe even months at this point. Who knows?
Yeah, because that's know how long
that's been changed. Yeah, but
because it does look like they got quite comfortable in the house already.
Yeah, I think somewhere through this we are kind of missing just a little bit. It's not really important, but Jeffrey Jones or Charles is like trying to scheme on how to do some stuff with this town. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So what is his job? What do we think he is? What does he do? Yeah.
Well, from what you talk about Beetlejuice, you talk about Charles?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because they're from New York. He basically says, "I do vague finances." Like because he tells the dude that he's working with, I forgot Max, that he's
about the area he's
he's like, "I've made you a lot of money over this year. You have." So I'm guessing he's either like an investment broker or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Because it's like. I would say he's a real estate agent, but it doesn't sound like he's been doing real estate. So because if you tell somebody you're making them money, it sounds like investments.
To me, it seems like he looks for properties.
Investments.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So like, I think he's an investment broker, investment banker. He's probably just looking for opportunities to help him invest, to help him grow his money, where we know Delia is an artist. And there's quotes. You can't see them. There's some serious quotes going on there.
She's an artist.
She's terrible.
Just
there's stupid sculptures.
I mean, somebody's gonna like them.
Nobody likes them. Literally no one.
Somebody out there pay $1 million.
No one's paying anything for those shits. Yeah, so Juno is explaining like the afterlife. Like, hey, you're dead. Read the damn book. Get them out yourselves. You have to scare them out. If you want them gone, scare them. You have 125 years to live in this house, and then what?
That's so funny.
Do they just move to another house, or do they?
I like how they say things like this in the movie, and you're like, well, now I need to know deeper.
Yeah, it's like what happens after 125 years?
Yeah, why? Why is it 125
Holy shit, scared the goddamn hell out of me.
Why is it 125 years?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I was like, now I have more questions than I have answers. Because after 125 years, what happens?
Well, I don't really know. But at this point, let's just get to the point where they try to scare everybody.
Well, no, because you got to get to the point where Juno basically tells him who Beetlejuice is. Where she's like, he used to be my assistant, but then he started doing crazy shit, calling himself a bio-exorcist. And we can't have that because he will probably expose us.
He kind of went, he went off the rails, basically.
Yeah, he went rogue.
Yeah.
He went rogue as fuck.
He did stuff he wasn't supposed to do.
Speaking of, do you see the Keke Palmer video as Rogue?
No.
She did like Rogue for Halloween.
Oh no,
It wasn't bad until she said I'm going rogue, and I was like, that's,
she had to go.
That's not how
to be
not how that
cliche.
fucking works at all.
You can't. But how do you pass that up?
You do. You 100% pass that up. It's never been a thing. Like
You can't. But you can't.
that's how you know. That's how you know. She seen like one episode. It was like, I got this. I figured this out.
No, she wanted to say that, so she did.
I don't know why. It's just it was the worst part for me. It was the worst part.
Oh well,
I just thought it was funny. No, it was funny. So basically, Juno tells them, and then now they're like, all right, we got to ghost these motherfuckers out of our house. How are we going to do that? They do the old sheet ghost. Good old classic
designer sheet ghost, no less.
This shit, they cut the holes in everything. That shit is hilarious.
They went way.
Yeah, it's like, you might as well be
old school.
Yeah, you might as well be a pots and pans robot at this point. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh yeah, so we're with the
Sheet
sheets
ghost.
part. Oh,
Sheet ghost.
Do we get to the part where they try to get Delia?
Yeah, they go in there and he's like, don't forget the moaning. The moaning is
The
really
moaning is
important.
really important.
I love that he's like an expert, but nah.
And then Lydia thinks they're getting busy in there.
Right? She's like,
how
ew, you fucking
how
gross.
could he even
because
touch her or something?
he was like,
She's probably heard this before. So.
and that's why, because
Yeah.
she is clearly not far from what's happening. It's like, you guys play your weird sex game somewhere else. Also, like, you should just move your room.
No, I mean,
Like, there's
right?
got to be space.
That house has more than
There has to be
First
space
of
at
all,
this point
but
now.
I couldn't be that spaced away. I get
a
it.
16-year-old
Yeah,
girl.
she is a 16-year-old girl.
That's a dang. At this point, she's
Nope.
thinking it's a haunted house.
See, did she gotta change that goth shit? That if she ain't gonna live that life, she better.
Did you do what she said? I remember she said
I could live here
She
'cause
said
of the spider.
No. Remember she said, I don't know about you being comfortable in a haunted house, but I couldn't. She said that. So she was like, at the same time, she's
not
like
real
that,
goth.
but she was like kind of
She's
scared
a fake
too.
goth.
She was, but she made it. She made it past that, getting comfortable with ghost stage.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
way past.
I think she thought she was dreaming.
Yeah,
Possibly. She's like,
Yeah. So she gets they're ghosting the sheets. Lydia takes the pictures of them. And then they're like, "Oh, you're not scared?" She was like, "No, you all Night of the Living Dead under there." And then she tries to, which is gross. Don't do that. Like, she tries to lift up the sheets,
Right,
and I'm like,
who would
"What
do
if I'm
that?
nude? Like, get the
Right.
fuck out of here!" Like,
do you
she
have
was
to
like,
get naked to put a sheet over you?
She was like, "You're not gross." Like, all right,
I'd
so
be
what?
too scared to
Did
look
she?
under
I
there.
guess they explained to her like, "Yeah, we died, and we just want you to get the fuck out." And then she's like, "Well, can you prove that I'm not dreaming? Can you do any ghost magic?" And then they're like, "No." Like, but I just seen you both do like some ghosty shit. Like, you ran without a head. She ripped her face off. You're gonna tell me that now you can't do ghost magic?
I guess they had to be motivated a certain way.
That's fucking weird. You're like, you guys are conveniently forgetting that you're ghosts right now. You know that,
yeah,
right?
because they still feel human. I think that's what it is.
At least Barbara does. I think Adam's kind of getting into this shit.
So at this point, now they're in the attic and they decide to call on Beetlejuice.
Yeah. And well, because they guessed the name. They're like, let's go see that guy, Beetlejuice. She says it right off the bat. And I'm just like, it clearly says Betelgeuse.
I would have definitely.
Like, I don't know how you accidentally stumble upon Beetlejuice.
Interesting.
It is very
It's
interesting.
interesting that
But
they
then she
spelled
says
it
it the
like
second
that.
time, and he's like, do it. And she gets that weird look in her face, like she's like, yeah, like it's some weird sexual thrill for her. And she's like, Beetlejuice, and then they're like, whoa.
They go into the town model, and then there's an arrow, a big lit up arrow. That
Yeah,
says,
he's making this.
"Here
He's making
lies
this way
Beetlejuice."
harder than it has to be.
He just
Fucking Beetle, he's being an
making it
asshole.
theatrics.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
So
yeah,
they dig him up, and it's funny because it's not even real digging. They're just ripping up the
the fucking cardboard,
Yeah,
like
the
pieces of
cardboard
cardboard
and
and
stuff.
newspaper.
And they're still using a shovel. Like at this point, you just need to rip shit up.
Why do you have real shovels in this thing? Ghost magic.
Right?
But yeah, so Beetlejuice. This meeting with Beetlejuice is some of the greatest shit.
Oh my
It's such good
gosh,
shit.
it is.
The Michael Keaton just talking is just fucking phenomenal shit, man.
It
did
is.
great. He
It
did
is.
great.
You can't I mean,
from the get go, he comes out. He's acting a fool.
He's definitely a perv.
He's crazy. He kisses Barbara. And then he
kisses her again.
Full on in the lips.
DJ tries to kiss her again.
And then he's like looking for something in his pockets, and it's a rat.
And he's like, "Oh, here, hold this." And she's like, "Ah."
Because she was looking like, he was like, "Do you have any qualifications or a business card or something like that?"
Like,
and that's what I was like, "What the fuck, a business card?"
Qualifications, LOL. He's like, "Well, I did this, and I lived through the Black Plague.
I went to Juilliard."
He said he went to Juilliard. Then he went to Harvard.
And
then he lived through the Black Plague and had a good time doing that. Yeah, and I've seen The Exorcist
167 times,
and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy. So what do you think?
Am I qualified?
He was like, "No, I meant, can you be scared?" He's like, "Oh yeah, well, why don't you just say so?" And then he hits him with something, and I want to see that front view so bad.
Yeah,
like I know I'd regret it, but I want to see that front view because
they look pretty scared from the
back. They look scared from the front when you see their reaction. She's like, "Holy shit!"
It's true.
Like she knew it was coming, and she was still terrified. That has to be worked. She was like, "Yeah."
That's
so what do you think? He was like, "No, that's no." She was like, "Yo, we don't want to scare that little girl, right? Like, she's gonna have a fucking heart attack. Like, we just want to get him out the house."
At the same time they're talking, he's all looking up her dress.
I know he's like, "We're leaving."
And he comes and jumps on him.
He's dressed
got the
as
same
him.
Shirt on him.
He's like, "We even shop at the same store."
I know.
Like, he's coming on really strong. It's fucking crazy.
And he's like, "Hey, we both been to Saturn. Talking about those sandworms."
You hate him, right? He's doing like stand-up comedian shit to try to relate, where he's like, "Sandworms. You hate him, right?" I hate him myself. And then he's trying to get him. What do I got to do to close the deal? And he does the head spinny thing. And they were just like,
but
yo.
He didn't mean to do the head spinny thing.
Well, he meant to do it, but I
shit.
think he just overdid it.
It looked like it just came out. He went, nah, and then he was like, he stopped his head.
He's like,
oh shoot.
No, he said, don't you hate it when that happens?
Hate when that happens?
Yeah, that shit got crazy.
Yeah, so they end up, she's trying to get away now because she's like, oh no, he's tripping. And they're like, and he's over there talking like, oh, over there. And then it was like, oh, she's like, home. And then they get back up there. And it's like, oh no. And then he's like, he's over here cussing them out.
Yeah, he kicks down the tree.
He's like, hey, you bunch of losers. You know what he say? What else did he say?
You're working with a professional
here. And then he kicks the thing down. Nice effing model.
Yeah. So then we get
which, by the way, was Jonna's favorite part when she was younger.
We get to the part where they have an idea, so that they know now how they're gonna scare him, and this is easily one of the best scenes in this movie.
Did you skip over the words?
No, we didn't. You just weren't here for it.
No. Your transition is horrible. You're supposed to come in like you were here, and don't come in here trying to figure out and catch up.
I've never had a.
You see how I left? Nobody knows I was gone. Okay, except I wasn't talking.
All of that. So we get to the one of the best scenes in the house where this was truly scary. Honestly, she felt because this is when she gets possessed. Because they have the dinner party with the art people or whatever the case may be, and this lady who I don't know what her deal is, but she scares me.
She's like depressed.
The one who's smoking the whole time. And she's just like, she's got the shakes and shit.
She came with what's his name?
Otho, but they were like apparently frenemies.
Yeah, it's weird, but because he even says something about her attempted suicide and shit like that. Like,
I know, right?
It's weird. It's like I just want to know what happened. Like,
and then just insulting.
And she was just like, "Fuck you, you fat fuck," and like she's smoking her cigarette. And then they kind of mention ghosts, and she's laughing. She's like, just the other day, Lydia tried to convince me that we had ghosts.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. Lydia is the dumbest teenager of all time because you're not just going to be able to convince your parents that you're telling the truth when she's trying to tell everybody that you're fucking crazy.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? She's like, no, you're wrong. I did see that ghost. And she's like... Shut the fuck up. But this is the best part because she gets possessed, but
oh my god,
there's a part like that I never really like. I guess we see it all the time, but I never really like noticed it. She feels herself getting possessed before it like
happens because she
really
stops,
happens. She
like,
stops and she gets that weird concerned look on her face, and she's like,
and then all of a sudden
you
it's
good?
like,
Damn. And now I was like, because I was like, and then she's got that face where she's like, what the fuck is happening?
But it didn't take long for her to get into it, because honestly, I would too.
well, I don't think she got into it. She was being possessed. It just was doing it for her.
She fine as hell too, man. I'm sorry.
That was like when she's
like, she's a
and her head is like
that's top shelf white woman.
She is like rocking.
She seemed like she got rhythm though.
Yeah.
No,
she had to practice.
Yeah, you just have to look at it.
She had to practice that stuff so hard.
She just had more rhythm than they did.
Yeah,
like she did. It wasn't there because I'm counting.
Yeah, no, she had to practice. She had to practice that,
but it was better than theirs,
which made it look good. Basically,
yeah. And well, it was the effort too, because she's getting into
she
it.
Is all,
and a lot of times, honestly, with dancing, that's really what you just got to do. You got to make it look.
Have fun.
You got to make it look good.
And she looked like she was having a ball. She was like,
yeah.
Like,
but then those shrimp turned to hands.
Yeah, that was gross.
And that got me.
Honestly, yeah, that was probably one of the more the parts that freaked me out when I was younger.
And then they were like, oh, we did it. We fucking did it. Yeah. They're going to be running out that door any minute now, screaming. Just wait, watch. It's coming. Don't worry. Now, just keep looking. And then the knock on the door, Lydia, and they just want you to come downstairs. They're not scared. They just, they thought it was pretty fun, I guess. And then they're down there. They're like, and they're all telling jokes. That's how she sounds to me. And they're all telling jokes. They're having a good time. They're like, whoa, that was so much fun. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then... But they're still kind of like, well, if we don't see ghosts, we're just going to pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, no,
like
dude,
all of a sudden
it happened.
Yeah, you were there. You just got possessed.
You didn't want to be
because they chalked it up to hallucinations. That's what she said. Because when they were like, well, if the ghosts there are no ghosts, we're leaving. She was like, I've been your agent for a long time. You're trash. You'll always be trash.
She said, you're a flake.
You will always be. That sounds worse.
I know, honestly.
You're a flake. You'll always be a flake. Fuck out of here. That shit was
disrespect. How you just gonna leave somebody's house and call him a flake?
Because he did say, well, in his defense, he did say he lost a lot of money on her,
right?
Yeah, so she is a flake.
Yikes.
And your art is trash. That's what I would have just said. I would live with that.
Damn, did he have to be so cold? Like,
yes, because this could have been his opportunity to make that money back if the ghosts were real. And also, they were way too comfortable with the idea of ghosts being real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't,
that.
Because white people. That's why. I love that. That's there. It's fun. It's so fun now.
It kind of sounded like we were saying it for. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and then because she was like, it wasn't a hallucination. I was like, yeah, no, we all felt the same shit. Like, we all having the same acid trip.
The
like,
whole
I don't
group
see that shit.
Hallucination.
So
like,
she's mad at that. She's mad. Her agent
she's
just went
pissed
off on
off
her,
at
and she's
the
like,
ghost.
I'm about to go confront these ghosts.
What did she say? Let us in there, or we will hang you with the ropes you hung yourself with.
She's like, they didn't hang them.
She's like, it doesn't matter. And they come.
Honestly, I love it. When I hear that, I'm just like, it's kind of like the way that applies to that is like how stuff like that applies to like racism, the stereotypes or whatever. It's like a stereotype for dead people. It doesn't matter if they killed themselves. They're dead people.
Yeah, so Otho takes the book. They also take the fucking thing or they notice that it's up there, but they do come back for it.
The model,
the fucking model. But this is also where Beetlejuice starts going.
He becomes a snake.
The Beetlejuice goes nuts. He's like, all right, you guys fucked up. My turn.
What is it called? A banister?
The banister, yeah. He was the railing, whatever you want to call it.
Is it called banister? No.
If it's fancy, it's a railing. If it's fancy, it's a banister. So
is that? Kind of
I think that's
I don't think so.
I do.
Okay.
I think it's a banister if it's fancy.
Anyways, he becomes he's where the banister should be. He's a big old Beetlejuice snake. And
he's a big old Beetlejuice
he's all
snake.
scaring everybody. He knocks Otho down the
stairs. He doesn't. Charles doesn't go down the stairs. He picks Charles up and just drops him off. That nigga's dead, or at least at the bare minimum got some serious spot. Yeah, he's got some serious injuries. Then he
became a cartoon. Right,
he smacks Otho. Otho does roll down the stairs.
Oh yeah.
And he's about to fucking. This is where you kind of first notice it. He looks at Lydia and he kind of gets the gross like, ooh yeah. And that's when Barbara hits him with the Beetlejuice, and he's like, no.
Swiper, no swiping.
And then there's a
gets
whorehouse.
upset. Lydia gets upset.
She gets, she does. She gets.
She's like, I hate you guys.
She gets abnormally upset for the situation. She goes, "Why are you doing this to me? Just leave me alone, all of you." I'm like,
She's
wait.
a teenager.
First off, number one, they're ghosts. They told you they were trying to get you out the fucking house. Like, you knew what this was.
So this isn't happening to you. Just you.
Yeah, she's just like, your dad might be dead. And you're worried about being...
You're ruining my life.
You worry about being a little scared. 2 people might be dead right now. There's no way fat ass Otho is surviving that tumble down those stairs.
Hey, he rolled pretty good.
He's gonna have a heart attack by the time he gets to the bottom of them stairs. This dude's not making it.
So
But it's fucking ridiculous.
she's
a big old baby.
They go back to the attic and see Beetlejuice. He crashed the truck.
The truck, this funny as fuck.
And he
Yeah.
starts calling them losers again.
Which we figured it out because I didn't understand it the first 1,000 times I've seen this, that he was allowed to do that because they never recalled him.
What do you mean?
Before.
I kept wondering how he was able to, after they left the model, how he was able to just come out and just start snaking.
Because they said his name.
Because they never recalled him.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He still had free reign because he was still powered down.
Yeah.
So he was basically just waiting for the opportunity to show off.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Here it comes.
I got that. He was because he wanted to be hired, and I think that was his big thing. He wanted to be wanted, but then he was just like, "Fuck it, I'll do my thing."
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then they put him back and he's mad.
Might as well.
And she's talking to him. What is she? She said something to him.
He was like, I don't even like them anyways. Except for that Lydia, I think she might have a thing for me, and this was like, you leave her alone.
You leave her alone, and then
he goes all spikes.
He get those prickly things
like,
coming out.
Another thing, his powers have no limits.
No, this dude
just had spikes coming out.
This
of him.
dude has like cartoon character levels of ability, where he's just like
sure.
whatever he feels like doing, he just does. He's like the genie from fucking Aladdin, where he could just be and do whatever with no real limitations to his power.
Yeah.
It's kind of like.
By the way, did he do all that? How did they do that?
What do you mean?
In the other, did you see Aladdin with Will Smith?
Yeah.
So how did they depict anything like that?
Well, he didn't do the impressions, which is which is fine. You don't really want Will Smith doing impressions.
No.
But there was like a lot of it was like him doing like a snap, or he'll point and then there would be like the magic thing would happen. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. The movie itself isn't great, but like the overall depiction of how it worked wasn't bad.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I was
back to
curious.
Beetlejuice.
Sorry. I just think of that.
So that's when after he does the pokies at him,
There's a
she
whorehouse.
Drops him, and he's like, "Hey,
Feeling
dancing to
kinda
this little
thorny.
whorehouse."
That's terrible dancing.
No, he said, "I'm feeling kind of anxious."
Anxious. Wonder where a guy like myself could find a little action.
Literally.
But then it's like, who were you setting that up for?
I love how she looks at him and she's like,
She goes, Adam. He was like, I didn't fucking build this.
no, but the way he smiled. He's like, what? I don't
When you gotta admit those zombie girls.
he had to add a little touch on it. But
but they get called by Juno, who's just like, yo, what the fuck?
Oh, okay. Can I mention something real quick? The whorehouse, the name was Dante's Inferno.
I know, I saw that too. Dante's Inferno. That's funny.
Okay.
You don't know what that is, huh?
No.
It's a poem by Dante, I guess, or somebody.
I think
Where
so.
basically it's about him going through. He is a crusade soldier who basically breaks his oath to God, and his wife makes a deal with a demon that Dante won't while he's away at war. And he does. He cheats on her, or whatever the case may be. So they take her to hell. He has to go to hell to get her. So he goes through all the 7 circles of hell, and that's the whole thing.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good stuff.
Well,
Okay. The more you know.
sure. Anyway,
It is
So
very
they
good.
they get teleported to Juno's office, and she's in the office. She's dealing with these
the
these
football players who discover in that moment,
So
like,
sad.
I don't.
They didn't discover it yet, but they're still thinking, which
They're
is
calling
pretty
her
dumb.
coach.
this is when
they're calling her coach and stuff. And
This
asking
is when they
questions,
said,
like, "Get out
because
of
we
my
saw
face."
them earlier. This is when they said it. They said, Coach.
Well, this is after
No,
this.
no, yeah.
After
They-
she explains to them that they fucked up.
Yeah, they're in here, and then
She tells them to go to the bathroom or something like that, or they
Yeah.
want to know where it is, and that's when they get out. And then she's like, "All right, what the fuck did you guys just do? You just
You
I
did
saw
what
that.
told
Like
you not to do.
you brought in Beetlejuice in there, and he almost fucking killed these people. He's a psychopath. Stop letting him do
I
shit.
told you.
Yeah,
She was like, you have to get him out of your house your way. And then she was like, they were like, all right, cool. She was like, whoa, wait.
What are you gonna do?
No, I need to see this because you guys clearly fucked it up.
Oh,
Yeah. She turns them into monsters. They turn it. What's his name? Hers is really cool. Where she like the mouth opens up and the tongue, and it's pretty gross.
The eyeballs
on his. Yeah, he had the eyeballs. On his
and in the meantime, Lydia's doing her dark poetry. That shit sucks.
She's kind of trying to write a suicide letter.
No, this thing needs to be perfect. That's why she's like having jumped. No.
I put Lydia's extreme emo moment.
That's what I put. I put dark poet. I thought dark poetry. So they do the face changing. Then Lydia meets Beetlejuice. He's like, hey, I need to get out of here. And the only way I can do that permanently is if I get married. And that's weird because that's another thing that I need to explain. Like, why? That's why I said I think he's cursed because he's cursed that he can't even interact with anyone unless he says,
unless somebody calls his name.
He can't tell you what it is.
Right.
And if he wants to be out permanently, he has to be married.
Right.
Like, that's cursed rules right there. He is definitely cursed of some sort
So
because nobody else has those limitations on it as far as we know.
Right.
Interesting.
And then he's like trying to coach her without saying stuff. So she's like, and the crazy part, now, come on now. If you saw somebody pouring orange juice, that would be immediately
She says breakfast.
Breakfast orange.
Is that the first thing that comes to your mind? She sees orange juice, like breakfast. Out of like orange juice.
I drink orange juice at breakfast time, lunchtime.
Yeah,
time.
but if you see orange juice,
if you see somebody,
I'm gonna see orange juice. Like that's the first thing. I'm like orange juice. No, that's not it.
Or you just
is it juice
or juice?
No, I would say orange juice first because it's clearly orange juice.
Yeah.
But if that's not it, I'm like juice.
Right.
She's like, that's it. All right, that was easy. Yeah.
Basically, he fooled
I also
her.
wouldn't have got that beetle. That didn't look like a beetle to me.
I don't know what it just.
It just looked gross. It looked like a gross bug.
Yeah.
I don't like bug.
Juice.
Yeah, gross.
So the couple they come in and with their scary faces and they end
Well,
up
because she's like
Lydia.
Beetlejuice. He's like, yes. He's like, your name's Beetlejuice. She's like, oh, one more time. He's like,
Oh yeah.
no, I'm gonna wait for Adam and Barbara.
And he's like, no.
He's like, what do you want to wait for them for? Just say it.
And then it's like, what's
they
the
walk
time between saying Beetlejuice that it
Yeah,
actually
see,
counts towards?
because there's another
we
thing
need to know.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like, what's the
inconsistency.
What's the rules here?
I need to know the Beetlejuice rules. It's gonna kill me. This is one of those things where I'm sure there's a
I
nerd
bet you can
wiki
find
up
something.
there.
I was about to say,
yeah, I know there's a
I'm sure
website
there's
somewhere, a fucking YouTube video with some nerd explaining it.
So now Otho and Charles come in. They take the model downstairs. They hid so they don't.
Well, we also find out that Barbara and Adam changed their minds.
Oh yeah, they
They're like, hey, we're gonna invite you and your family to stay.
Yeah.
After she was like, we just want you to leave, but we're inviting you and your family to stay. Like,
But sure,
Barbara, you got to get better at that. That was terrible.
really
She was like, you get the fuck out of here, but we want you to stay.
They just wanted Lydia there.
Well, she just wanted.
Yeah,
to
she's weird. She was
just wanna
like,
be with
Barbara, I
Lydia."
like Lydia. I just want to be with Lydia. It's such a weird fucking thing. She's a creep. We have to kill Barbara. 'Cause she's going to kill Lydia. And, yeah. So, where are we at? Oh, yeah, this is, Otho finds Max comes and they're like, hey, we should have a seance or whatever. And he was like, can you do it, Otho? And he was like, yeah, I got a book here. I can probably do this thing. So yeah, they're about to do this seance and it's fucking depressing as shit. Because it's just them, Barbara and Adam disappearing and slowly dying.
Yeah,
and
they start crumbling and stuff.
It's pretty bad.
It's like, yeah, it's terrible.
And
then he's like, now he's feeling remorse. Like,
yeah, he's like, I'm sorry.
Like, I'm sorry. I can't do anything.
Well, yeah, well, you shouldn't have done anything in the first place.
Stupid. But he just had to be. He was so arrogant. He had to show that he knew how to
white people. They're the ones who do that shit.
Yes.
That's just saying.
He just
you
had
can't
to
be
show-
remorseful after you already had your fucking seance. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's a little too late.
So,
And
Lydia
they're all
gets
feeling
desperate
bad.
and she goes to Beetlejuice now.
Yes.
And she's like, help them. And she's like, all right.
Like, okay.
But you know my terms. She's like, fine, whatever. I'll do everything. I'll do anything you ask. He was like, yeah.
All right. He's like, watch the show. Here
And
it
then
goes.
she hits him with the Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, and it's showtime. And he wreaks fucking havoc. That's all I got. That's all I put. He turns into the carnival thing. He gets Max and his wife the fuck out of there.
He strips Otho down to some polyester.
His worst fear or whatever.
Right.
Then he's like, all right, yeah, we're getting married. Witnesses, the sculptures come to life. I will say, this is a sequence that, while like it's the crescendo of the movie, it does feel like it drags a little bit with the like saying Beetlejuice real quick thing, because it never happens anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, he's basically trying to marry her. This little demon ghoul comes out of the fireplace thing. And the whole time they're all trying to say Beetlejuice while it's happening. Adam and Barbara.
Yeah.
And it's little different things. And eventually he sends Barbara to fucking Saturn. And she apparently tames a sandworm because she comes in.
Well, she had already socked him before.
She did sock that sandworm. Maybe he just knows. Yeah.
He was like, okay, I ain't gonna mess with her.
Oh, that's what's her name. Fuck all that.
Yeah. So she ends up bringing in the sandworm, and the sandworm basically just eats.
So does he die twice? That's what, like, Jonna had that same question. I want to know, did he die again? Because he ends up in the waiting room, in hell's waiting room.
So it's like you can die after death kind of thing.
I guess so.
It's the rules.
He gets his head shrunken. Well, not yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah, he dies, and we find out that basically they did let him stay. The house goes back to normal.
Right.
Lydia wants to get possessed because, white people. And because it was an incentive for her doing well on a math
doing
test.
Her well on her test.
So yeah, she does. She gets possessed with some Harry Belafonte.
Yeah. And then the football players are
they
there.
Turn up. They're ghosting as her background dancers. Can they see them, or was that just for us? What do you think?
Good question. That's a good question. Because she's not a ghost.
No, but everyone can see them now, so maybe they're all into. That's what I'm saying. Can not just them. I'm talking about, do Barbara and Adam know that they're there?
I think
are
so.
Are they actually there, or is that just for the movie? Is what I'm saying.
I kind of think they can see. I kind of think they can see them.
All right.
That's what I think.
I'm just talking about for that scene particularly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could.
I don't know. It felt, because they were like faded out, so maybe they could.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just for us. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that was for the audience and not necessarily for part of the actual movie. But who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it just wasn't that deep.
And that's when Beetlejuice gets his head shrunken, fucking around.
Yeah.
Trying to steal that new number. Because his number was all extra high.
Exactly. Well, that's basically how it ends. It's
that is the end of that movie.
I just love how it just kind of,
it keeps going.
Starts and just goes.
Yeah, this movie has no breaks. I like that it's like constantly what's happening is always happening.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. So I'll start. I will say, in terms of whatever, I'm going to rate it, because we don't really have criteria, because it's just shit we missed.
Yeah, it's just shit we missed.
Yeah. But in terms of just rating it as a movie, still, there's, some things that may not hold up per se. But in terms of it still being a good movie that holds up as a good movie, I'm definitely going to give it a 7. It's good. We don't have Jonna. She had to go get her kids. So.
Yeah. And for me, Jonna gives it a 10.
I'm pretty sure she does.
Yeah, for me, I this once again, like, outside of a few like CGI things that didn't really hold up, this movie is still really good, and it's like really enjoyable. It's one that I would go out of my way to watch. So,
for sure.
So it's like unlike The Mask, where it's like it has to be on.
Yeah,
this one I will watch. Yeah. So it
still works.
I'll give this an 8. I still think this movie is really good, and I really hope they don't try to do like a fucking sequel or a remake or some shit like that.
I do too, because I'm just like, ew. First of all, that's fine. I get it. They would have to. That I know they're going to darken it to the point of, and then they're going to take that dark into places that it just don't need to go. Stuff we don't need to see, and I hope not. But I ain't gonna count on it.
All right, so we have 2 choices. We could either do The Waterboy next week, or we can do Suicide Squad. Choice is yours. I'm gonna let you have this one.
Let's go with Waterboy.
All right, we're doing Waterboy. Good. We saved the best for last.
Okay. Well.
And so next week we are doing the Waterboy.
Yes.
Part of our Mad Moms that we missed out on. So.
Oh yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Mad
So
Moms.
we will get to Waterboy.
Sounds good.
So on that note, you guys didn't appreciate it, so you don't get it.
Whatever.
Till next time.
Yes.